All right, here's something you may not realize. The pandemic is disrupting the supply chain of virtually every appliance, from washers and dryers, especially freezers and refrigerators. If you're in the market for a fridge, you better be prepared to wait. Our consumer reporter, Sarbani Banerjee, is joining us with more on why companies are falling behind and how to avoid the frustration when you're out there shopping. I had no idea this was going on, Sarbani.
Yeah, right now, if you need a new freezer or fridge or even replacement parts, Kelly, you need to be really flexible in terms of the brand and patient with how long you'll need to wait. We checked in with a local appliance retailer, Famous Tate's, and they said the slowdown started mid-June across the board due to severe inventory shortage, leading to what big retailers are calling massive delays. They say, unfortunately, it has affected all of the brands, regardless of where they're manufactured. The industry producing at about a 15 to 20% only production capacity.
What's causing this is that at one point or the other, pretty much all factories had to close down, either for COVID cases, obviously, to close and sterilize and so forth before they could reopen. But the bigger challenge is also they've had to reconfigure the factories for 6-foot distancing. So as you can well imagine, when you have an assembly line predicated on and set up the way it was initially set up for and have to reconfigure that, that's a pretty big challenge.
And labor shortage is another challenge right now, on top of a need to get raw materials because folks are staying home. Maybe they're sick, they're at risk, or they need to care for their family. And even if the factory can be up and running, normally they still might be missing components that could hold them up. For example, right now, evaporators, which every refrigerator needs, simply are not available.
That's crazy. Does this have anything to do with a run on supplies like we saw toilet paper, perhaps?
It sounds kind of crazy at first when you compare those two things, but it actually does when it comes to freezers. People wanted to buy all that extra food and store it because we're staying home. So the industry was literally drained of freezers early on. Famous Tate's, for example, they told us how they got 85 freezers once at 10 a.m. By 2 p.m. that day, they were all gone, wiped out. They'd already been sold and allocated even before they were delivered. So when people started buying refrigerators then instead with extra freezer capacities, and then that put a strain on the fridge inventory. They don't even have any freezers in stock right now, and if they did, they said they're sure it would go as fast as that one roll of toilet paper left on the shelf.
We get just enough product in dribs and drabbles, if you will, to satisfy the most urgent needs as much as possible. But again, the real frustration is just simply not being able to tell any consumer an exact date of when they get their product. It's the last thing we want to do is disappoint somebody with a false hope and a level of expectation that we just simply can't meet.
Now, keep in mind, there will always be a refrigerator available. It just might not be the one that you want, and maybe not the style or model that you need right now. So flexibility right now is key, and of course, it'll serve your food storage needs. As long as that's the case, we just all have to be flexible in every capacity of our lives right now, really.
Yes, patient. Be patient and just realize that everything is a little different. All right. Thank you so much, Sarbani. We'll be right back.